Hi, and welcome to Android Coliseum Hangout number 119. It is June 17th, 2015. Summer is almost upon us. I suppose it's really upon you guys.
Yeah, somewhat.
So we have Martin in Ontario,
Woo.
Ottawa. What's the weather like there?
Today was about 30 outside, no humidex, so it was actually pretty nice, even though it was hot. Can't complain.
And Ryan in Thunder Bay. What's happening out there?
Not much, but the sun is out. We're getting a little bit of wind right now, but definitely summer is in the air. I've had a couple of fire pits already and some s'mores. I really debated about doing the show outside today from the tablet fire, but it's not dark enough yet to really get the full effect.
And Rob, coming westward? You're in Winnipeg, is that correct?
Yep.
I know you're going to be silent, but you have to give us a weather report.
26 degrees was a high today, and it was thunder showering around here, so lots of lightning and fun stuff there, and trying to stay dry. So.
Well, and I'm in chilly Alberta. I think we got to 20 today, maybe 23.
That's not too bad.
No, it's not actually. It's kind of nice out. And tomorrow I'm doing an outdoor barbecue, so I'm pretty sure we're going to have wind and rain, because that's how that happens.
Interesting.
Yes. So let's go on to Android stuff. This is Canada, but we are going to talk about more than the weather and being nice. So let's start with some news. Ryan.
Mm-hmm. So we're talking about in the news for a while there, different companies buying different companies, and one of them was there was some rumor about potentially Ouya being bought by Razer, and eventually it sort of came out. Now, a company that represents, and I believe it represented Ouya sort of as their thing, actually announced on their own personal website, their company website, how they helped these different companies be acquired or whatever. And one of the things they listed was Ouya being acquired by Razer, right on their website, and they deleted it pretty shortly thereafter. But I think it's a pretty good confirmation that Razer has bought Ouya. So if you remember Ouya, for those of you who are not sure, Ouya was essentially the first real Android console. They started off as one of those Kickstarters way back when, and like immediate funded. Everybody bought it. They loved the idea. It was really cool. And then what sort of happened is that they sort of failed to deliver. I'm not going to say quality, but the idea of what a real console on Android looks like. And so they were one of the first pioneers. And now with Android TV becoming very popular, the Nexus Player, the Shield TV, it's really starting to take off. And I think this is where Ouya gets to make their next sort of comeback. Now, what's going to happen next? Who knows? But it'd be really cool to see what comes next with it. So, yeah, so that's Razer buying Ouya. And then the next one we kind of heard about it being bought. Now, this was, again, just rumor that apparently at an ASUS board table that somebody had suggested potentially that HTC, that they should just buy HTC. We got the money. They're not doing so well. Maybe we can join up and buy them. Now, again, it was one of those ideas that somebody just probably threw that on the board table, and they maybe just talked around it, and maybe people shot it down. Who knows really what the conversation looked like, but the idea wasn't off the table. But since then, what really happened is HTC has come out themselves after this rumor went around, is that HTC kind of said, there's no way we would want to be bought. We will have to do this on our own. We're going to continue. So just count it for what it is, a rumor, but the fact that it's out there, potentially.
Yes. And, there's always the good thing and the bad thing about being part of a big company. Like a bigger company, certainly for Ouya could give them more money for production and to get the word out. But,
do any of you guys even know someone that owns an Ouya?
No.
I saw one. I saw one at one of the Android TO conferences once.
Yep. It's the one I was there with you.
About it.
It seemed really cool.
I think it was a really cool idea, but when it really came down to it, it's like the same idea with those little controllers. Like if you remember, way back when the Android in Canada day, we had these little Z-Motes. The company that came out with Z-Motes. It was really cool and awesome, but you know what? There was like 12 games you could play on it. And the same thing now with the controllers. There's not much people that are having that have that capacity to do that. So, and even when you get to the Android TV, the same amount of sort of buying. I mean, it's getting a lot better. There's a ton of games now you can get on it and play on it, which I really enjoy. And Minecraft is supposed to be one of them shortly. But it really wasn't really adopted by much. And Ouya being the first guys in that field, it really suffered that growing pains the most. And people bought into it, but then they realized that the backing wasn't quite there. There wasn't a lot of games, wasn't a lot of stuff to do with it. It kind of really fell on flat on its face. Not flat on its face. I mean, they did okay, but it didn't take off like gangbusters.
Well, it's certainly one of those things to watch for. Let's keep moving on here. There's a lot about BlackBerry in the news because they're talking about doing an Android device. Martin, you wanted to talk about this.
They're not only talking about just doing an Android device, they're thinking about replacing their platform and going strictly with Android, which is not entirely a bad thing neither, because I mean they already have components that are actually being used in Android, which is pretty much generic. So it wouldn't take a whole lot for them to actually run Android on it. And as we've seen, if you've been online reading the news, one user actually took it upon himself to load Android on his Passport, and he had his Passport running Lollipop. So I don't know how much it's going to take out of BlackBerry to do so, but is it going to be complicated? I don't know, but it looks fairly simple. And Rob, you have a question.
Yeah, well, I was like, with your knowledge on it, what would your opinion be on BlackBerry and their security that they have so much pride in? Is it going to go down or up or parallel?
If I were to assess the security factor is not on the handheld device or the operating system. It's all on the back end of the infrastructure.
Are you talking about when they go through their BlackBerry servers, whatever?
Yep, it's all managed through that environment and encrypted keys on the device. That's all it is. It's a handshake. The key is valid. Let's continue. It's not bad. It's a bad key. Oh, this is which some of you have probably experienced, where the BlackBerry just says that you have an invalid key. It needs to be re-imaged for whatever reason, and we've seen that so many times. But yeah, no, the security is in the back end of the BlackBerry environment.
Well, I think it could.
Sorry.
Go on, Rob.
I was going to say, so if they go to Android, that part shouldn't really be affected. They would kind of
it shouldn't be affected. The user experience should be remain the same. I mean, they've already rebuilt the platform for their BlackBerry Messenger, which is basically the central to their device right now. It would just be a matter of them building what they call the hub into Android.
Right.
Which is basically what a lot of people like, because it unifies everything. Any notifications, messages, everything just pops right in there. Don't have to worry about nothing. Who cares what app you're running? It's all going to pop in the hub.
And I think that there's still a lot of people, especially with the larger devices now, that would really like that hardware keyboard.
A lot of people will like it. I mean, business people, they don't want to fiddle with the going with the on-screen keyboard. They just want to press those keys, write a message, click send, they're done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
yep, and with the secure features too, it would probably catch a little better than the Samsung version of security, just because people are used to BlackBerry being secure, whereas Samsung not so much. So, interesting. And talking about that, there is that thing about the Samsung keyboard security flaw I was reading about today. Talking about keyboards, anybody got comments on that?
It sounds like it's one of those absolutely in the right condition under the full moon of the third quarter for only pregnant ladies in the second trimester who are having boys. It's
and
like,
are in an unsecure Wi-Fi environment.
Yeah, it just seemed like it was like, and again, it was a lot of link bait for a lot of articles out there that were writing this. Oh my God, 600 million different devices, all at risk. Well, again, if it's
like
not
so many.
Yeah, it's not like Apple, like in their zero-day exploits that people are showing off, and how we
Yeah,
like to send
exactly.
Tom a text message now and again to reboot his iPhone. So it's
Just because you can.
just because it can.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's move on. We had a giveaway, and we have a winner. Ryan.
Yeah, so Patrick Bellavo was the winner of our Tilt View Solo. So this is, and I'm sorry, Pat, I was meant to send this in the mail today, but I just had crazy busy day, so I'm hoping to get this out to you tomorrow. And knowing Canada Post, yeah, at least we still within Ontario, so it shouldn't take too long for it to get there. Anyway, so thank you for everybody who entered into the draw. That was we had a lot of people getting into this. I really appreciate it. I have another draw in the next little bit. I will be setting that up to actually have people get into that. So another Tilt product. It'll be the car charger one. So the dash mount car charger QI charging. So watch for the site. And again, I really appreciate everybody who has been able to get in and share the word around. So thanks again and congratulations to Pat.
And Tilt has such nice products.
Oh, excellent.
I know, right?
It's
Got another one in the works, and probably a few more giveaways by the time we get to the end of the summer.
nice. Well, let's move on. YouTube gaming. Is anybody actually into that?
Me.
Okay, one, kinda. Martin?
Yeah, you know what? Personally, until I see something decent, probably not.
I mean, I think my son would like it. Like my son, he sits there and he watches guys like Stampy Cat and Think Noodles and all those kind of guys that are online that do live play or let's play games where they show what they played. So I think the fact that they can watch it live like they do right now on Twitch. I mean, Dean doesn't really get into Twitch, but he knows YouTube. He knows YouTube inside and out. So being able to have that center where Stampy Cat could say, "Hey, and come watch me build this thing live." I think Dean would be all over that, and because it's a platform he knows already, YouTube, it's a lot easier than having to say, "Oh, and go check it out on Twitch." Like he would know what Twitch is, right? So I don't think it's going to be as a big competitor. People are like, "Oh, it's going to kill Twitch." It's not going to kill Twitch whatsoever. This is not what Google does, but the fact that it's an option for those that are in the environment already. So.
Did
Yeah,
you
and
guys
it could
see what Twitch,
grow
how
the
Twitch
environment.
responded? Sorry, I was gonna say, did you guys see how Twitch responded to that being launched too?
Yeah,
Actually,
the Twitter.
They put a tweet out saying, "Welcome player 2, we welcome the challenge" or something like that. I don't
Well-
have it in front of me, but it was pretty.
Well, they didn't say welcome to challenge because that was the one. Who was it? It was Spotify wrote to Apple last week.
Yes.
That's pretty funny. But the YouTube gaming one, it was like because YouTube gaming on Twitter wrote like, "Welcome player 1" or like, start player 1, and so Twitch responds or something. A new player enters the ring. Welcome player 2, and they wrote so welcome player 2. It was kind of funny, yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
All the gaming notion in it.
Well, and there's always room. I mean, this stuff is still pretty new, so there's room for as many people at this point. Definitely room for expansion.
For sure.
Let's see. Oh, Google's iPhone chooser, or Google's phone chooser, which isn't necessarily an iPhone. People may know that I'm just not that pumped about my phone. But I am trying to keep it for at least until the next model year, which is a long ways away. But in the interim, I thought I'd see what Google chose for me. Did you guys do that too?
Yep.
Yeah. What did they choose for you? Because they chose really expensive things for me.
I mean, you are the one that provided what you wanted to do, right?
Yes.
There you go.
And unfortunately, what I want is a really good camera phone. So.
G4.
Yeah. S6. And I think I picked the smaller size, so they didn't go with the Note.
Yeah, for having had a chance to play with the S6, the camera's not good.
Oh.
Camera's not good on an S6?
Nope.
Old words.
Completely hate it.
Well,
it was a hate. I took about 120 pictures, and I compared it to other pictures I took with other different phones. It was not even no. Mm-mm.
Well, like I said, I'm waiting for next year, so I'm not that concerned. I know
But
that there will be good things happening next year.
I was actually impressed with the mediocre phone that came out from HTC. Pictures were better than what I got from the X6.
Hmm. I find it surprising for me, just because I remember when I had a PDA. For those of you who are that young, that was before mobile phones. You got this thing that wasn't a phone, but was still handheld, and they didn't have a camera. And I remember getting one of those, and then cameras came out. I was like, why would you want a camera on something like that?
Palm.
And now,
I have my.
Sony UX50.
Oh, the Clie was not. Clie was not as good as the Palm.
Are you kidding me?
We'll get into this argument.
Clio equaled innovation. So, anyways.
My head just hurt for a minute.
Luckily, those days are past. We're all on the same page with Android, and cameras are very important in our mobile devices. And
It's
we'll
part of
just
the.
move on.
It's part of the generation, so camera phones are not going to go away.
Yes.
If anything, they're just going to get better.
Yeah, and I think with mobile as well. You know, now that people are sharing on networks, I could get mine too.
People are getting shareaholics everywhere.
Yes. So let's talk about one of those high-end phones. The G4 finally has pricing. Ryan.
Yeah, so we haven't heard all across the board yet. I mean, some of them are still sort of answering, and usually we don't hear too much of actual pricing before the date. But it looks like when Rob and we both signed up to get the G4, we signed off that it would cost us $700 if we break it. So that looks like it's going to be the price. So $700 with Rogers, because they're the only one who've come up with the actual price. And they never actually said it was going to be $700 outright. They actually just said it was $200 on a 2-year contract.
Right.
And if you look at all of Rogers' previous workings, the contract price is $500 less than their non-contract price. So that's where, if it's $200 on a contract, it should be $700 outright. And now where Riney was complaining the other day, as soon as he heard it was available on Rogers, he went to one of the Rogers kiosks in a mall and asked, I want to buy it outright. And they said, you can only buy it outright or buy it on if you change your plan. And I had to email Rogers and get an official response for Riney to say whoever told him that was straight out lying, because anybody can buy the phone outright at any cost and not worry about changing your price plan. Because that would be just shady.
They would just want to do a cash grab.
Exactly.
And also, sometimes, I know I used to buy at Wireless Wave, and there's a couple of devices that I bought that if I wanted to buy outright, I had to go to the Bell store and buy. I could not buy it through Wireless Wave. However, he went to a Rogers. So, yeah, that's kind of bogus.
Yeah, can't you just go to Rogers and just, say, I'm not even with you, I'm actually with Bell, but I want this phone anyway to give to a friend, so I'll just buy your phone.
And you should be able to do that too.
Yeah.
Like, going to deny you or something? That wouldn't
It's
happen.
still money in their pocket.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I know they used to do at some point, like I can't remember when the Note 2 came out, and the Note 2 was being very popular, and there was such a high anticipation for it. They were saying things like, well, our first round are going to go to our new subscribers / resubscribers before anybody else. So, but in that case, nowadays it shouldn't matter whatsoever. So anybody that's telling you, oh, if you want this phone, you have to sign up. No, you don't have to.
No.
Yes. That's that competition.
Just tell them that they're full of crap.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. Well, there was some new ways to send files to your smartphone or tablet. I know a lot of people, we were using AirDroid quite a bit for a while.
Me too. Yep.
To show our screens and stuff like that. Then mine broke, and other people's broke.
Yeah, it broke everybody.
Yeah. Funny that. However, you could still move files around. And I think there's a new portal came out that's part of another program. Is that correct? That's part of Pushbullet?
Yeah.
Right.
And
It's in conjunction with Pushbullet.
so, Martin, you were going to talk about that? Then we can all talk about files, how we send files to our
Definitely. So
tablet.
Pushbullet, they came out with another little app called Portal. Essentially, the function is simple. You download the app to your phone. You go to portal.pushbullet.com, and there's a QR code on the website that you can scan within the app. So you scan that, and then the only thing you have to do within your browser is drag and drop the files you want to send to either your tablet or your phone. And it's going to get transferred over Wi-Fi instead of going out to the web and back to your phone like you can do with Pushbullet. So it makes the transfer even faster. And just to make an example out of that, I took 9 gigs worth of file, and I sent them. It took about 14 minutes to do 9 gigs.
Which is pretty good.
Which is really good, because then I tested smaller files, and I did like an MP3 file. I dragged and dropped it. It marked it done. It's not progressing, it's just done. So 5 meg file took about a second.
See, the big files, I understand it. It would make sense to do an easy system like AirDrop or not AirDrop, but AirDroid or that kind of stuff. But I mean, the fact is, I usually don't want to spend that many big files on my phone. It's usually the small doc or the small photo I'm putting over that way. And I just find in those cases, it's just not as simple for me to go, okay, I got to load up pushbullet.com, load up the app, scan it, load, click and drag. Whereas I could just say save the drive or save the Dropbox and go open Dropbox here. So I mean, I get it for the big files, but for the small files, for me it's cloud.
Yeah, for single, you're going to want to use more just either Pushbullet or what you're saying, but it is more of a large kind of
Portal,
thing.
this is where Portal comes into where it shines. It's done for large file transfer, and they gave the example that one of their corporate executive wanted to transfer a 1.8 gig file. Sure, you can drop it on a USB stick and then bring it to somebody. But what if I want to put it on my tablet and everything is disabled? I can't not physically transfer a file connected to a cable with my tablet. It's just not going to happen. It's blocked. So they came out. Let's see. Security accepts it. IT security says okay, no problem. They designed the application for it. Drag, drop, push, done.
Well, I can say that if they allowed that at work, oh no, never mind. Never mind. They have USB lockdown at work. So annoying. And then they have fake Wi-Fi where it works for 5 minutes and then drops and burns out your battery because you're constantly trying to connect. It is the most annoying crap. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's also really good for schmucks like me that still have OS X computers or an iMac in my case, and plugging in a Android device by USB it's sometimes hit and miss for me, especially because my computer's a little older. So I've always used AirDroid, and I can see Portal being just as handy to do that multiple file transfer kind of thing. So
that makes sense.
The only thing I don't get on Portal is where do you get to pick it? I didn't try it yet. It just looks like like an AirDroid. I can actually pick which folder things are going to go into, and I have full access to the full tree. But
I think Portal does it automatically or something. I remember reading that if it figures out if you're doing MP3s, it's going to toss them to music. If you're doing photos, it'll do that.
Yep.
I think I read that. Am I correct?
That's correct. If you're transferring photos or music, it will drop it in the appropriate folder.
Well, I like putting things where I want to put them, so that's why I probably would choose AirDroid over
You do have the ability to choose the folder where you want it, Ryan. But they're making it for dumb people. Drag and drop, forget about it. That's really that's why they
hopefully no one got offended with that.
Hey, it's how do you want me to put it? Drag and drop. That's it. Done.
All right, let's move on from this one. I was happy to see that I got an update on my phone today. Did you get one as well, Martin?
My phone, my Z2, I got my update a few days ago.
I probably just didn't notice. So, yeah.
No, I mentioned it. I think if it wasn't yesterday, it was the day before. I'm like, cool, an update for my Z2, no problem. But the update didn't bring me anything that I didn't have before.
Yeah, I didn't really see much of a change either, but Didn't take that long.
Apparently, it fixed a few things for a few people, and I looked over the changelog, and whatever the changelog is supposed to have fixed for people, it hasn't fixed anything for me. All these
And
bugs
what
that they
was in
outlined,
there?
saying that when you are on the lock screen at the top, instead of giving you the carrier label, it says no service when you're in service.
Oh.
And there were other bugs and system fixes that I actually tested, and the bugs are still in the system. They haven't been fixed for me.
Huh. I didn't
So I don't
have
know.
to
I don't know what they're doing, but starting July 1st, 5.11 for Sony devices for Z2 and Z3 is rolling out.
Well, so this was just a taste. Hopefully they do better with the next
Yes.
rollout. So I think that's the end of our news, and we have just a ton of reviews coming up. So let's roll through there. There's Mugen power battery case for the Xperia Z2. Martin, you have that? Love
I
it?
do. I got it, the review, and you know what? It gives me a full battery charge after a day. Although it kind of reminds me of carrying my HTC Desire Z when I put the phone in it. It's that bulky.
Okay, and then Ryan has the very new and exciting Dell Venue 7010 inch plus keyboard. So I'm really looking forward to hearing what you have to say about that.
Loving it so far.
Excellent. Photo Jojo accessories. Are those the lenses that stick on the outside of your...
Well, the Photo Jojo, and I can't talk enough about Photo Jojo. They're awesome. But yeah, they make these little accessories. Like these ones are.
Yeah, I have some of those.
I got the lenses that'll fit on your camera, your phone. I've got a special different color gradient adapter that'll go in the back of your phone, so you can actually put gradient filters onto your phone. That's really cool. And I also got, where is it, my Joby? A little mini Joby Gorilla Pod, so that you can put your phone in there and have it be stable.
Very cool.
I love Gorilla Pods. They're so great.
So we'll be getting a review on that shortly. And then Martin has the Anchor 2 wireless compact keyboard.
It's made for your desktop or your laptop, 2.4 gigahertz wireless adapter. But I discovered that it works via using an OTG cable connected to your device. So therefore, I can connect this to my phone or my tablet, and the keyboard will work.
Very nice. If you happen to have a charging dock that's OTG, that's a great way to charge and have a keyboard at the same time. And then, Martin, you also...
The other one. The other one that we have, it's the Logitech K480. Which basically, it's a universal keyboard dock. It's Bluetooth, and it has multiple dial options so that you can connect multiple devices. And it works really well so far. I like it.
Well, I hope you really like it, because I am going, as soon as we're done, I'm going to pick mine up at Best Buy. So
there you go.
Let's close.
Geez, it's like a replacement Tom here, getting me to buy stuff. Rob, you had a comment.
No, that comment was further back. That was just regarding
Okay.
No problem.
You have to jump up and down a little bit, and then I notice.
And one more device from Tilt. The Tilt ribbon, which I'll be testing out, can plug up to 2 devices in your car charger with this device.
Cool. So lots of stuff coming down the pike for, and then Martin, I know you are looking forward to, and I'm looking forward to the 360 update.
I know.
360 update. So as soon as that happens, we'll have our views. Maybe I'll write about it, since I don't write very often. I write a lot at work, just so you guys know. It's not that I don't like you. It's just I'm zapped.
Yep, I just checked. I still don't have the update yet.
I'm going to keep my checking to once a day.
I'm doing the same thing with the good old-fashioned Moto X. Where is it here? Moto X. The very classic, not there. So it's... They got the soak test out all across everywhere in the world right now, and apparently Rogers does have it, so I'm still waiting for Moto X first gen to get Lollipop for the first time. We'll see. Eventually.
Soon.
Yeah, soon was being said for 7 months now, but
Sort of like.
I'm not bitter.
That's
Okay,
how I
well,
feel.
I think that is it. You guys got anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Well, we can start from eastward most. Say goodnight, Martin.
All right, take care, guys. Hopefully you have a good night, and we'll see you next week.
Brian?
Yeah, thanks for joining, everybody. I really appreciate all the shares on the giveaway. Look for a new giveaway starting soon for that car charger, and then look for our reviews. We're going to have a bunch of stuff to share our opinion on. And if there's
Absolutely.
anything you want us to talk about, we'd love to hear your thoughts on it, or we'd love to hear you suggest things for us to talk about.
Rob?
Keep it short and simple. Have a good night.
And see you next week, you guys. Have a great evening and a great weekend.
All right. Bye.